Hi, and welcome to the Chromaggus guys, second to last boss in Blackwing Lair. So I've marked up the starting positions. All the range, you'll be stood over here near the purple side. And melee starts in this corner. The reason for this I'll explain in a second. These will also be hiding spots for when he does a breath mechanic. Off tank will start over here and will be generating threat all the way through the fight. So, Chromaggus is actually a pretty straightforward fight. He does 2 breaths, but these 2 breaths are on a rotation. So you can do a fire, a shadow, nature, frost, and time breath. And time breath is the tough one. It's called time lapse. Time lapse reduces the threat and health by everyone who's hit by it by 50%. And the breath isn't a frontal cone, but it's a 360-degree ability. So whenever a breath is incoming, 3 to 5 seconds beforehand, people need to get to their hiding spot unless anything else is called. For time lapse, it can sometimes be beneficial to have the entire raid soak the damage or soak the breath, in case there's a miscommunication with the taunting or with the aggro. Sorry. So I'll start the fight up. The way we do it is that we have a summoning portal on where the skull is, just so we make sure that we position the tank correctly to begin with. Chromaggus' hitbox is incredibly large, and he grows when he does Frenzy, which can mean that you can actually hit him through the wall. So when you're stood in the hiding spot, over here by Star, make sure that you're not facing the boss necessarily. So this way, if he's stood like this, he should be perfectly positioned. And this is how he'll stay throughout the entire fight. So he does a Frenzy, so hunters need a trank rotation just like on Flamegore and Magmadar, etc. This should be straightforward. He also does a debuff. If you manage to get all the debuffs, you'll turn into a Draconid and you die. So I have Ignite Flesh here. I might have to kill him after this, just to make sure. Okay, perfect, he doesn't do it because I'm a single player in retail. So yeah, he keeps stacking these. Healers, mages, druids, you will have to need to dispel. You will be assigned beforehand, so you'll know 20 hours before the raid starts if you're on dispelling duty or not. If you're in doubt, just talk to your class leader, see what happens. And here I got Frostburn. So, in between Ignite Flesh and Frostburn, you can damage. When there's 3 seconds of breath, you go to your hiding spot. So casters go in, melee go in, off tank go in, and then just make sure that you don't get hit by the breath. Breath is the only mechanic that can really kill you, theoretically, because the only one else taking damage through the entire fight is the tank. So everyone should be taking next to no damage. There is a stacking fire debuff, where you'll take minimal fire damage. You don't need to pop a greater fire protection potion for this. You should be dispelled throughout the fight, so it's not an issue. Other than that, tank and spank. When he's on 30%, see if I can trigger it. Here we go. He frenzies again and he does even more damage. So now he's enraged and just does a truckload of damage. So this is a tank damage based fight. Just like the Draconid, Chromaggus has an elemental shield. This shield changes throughout the fight. We have add-ons and etc. to show you which debuff is currently active. For now it's Arcane, so you have to swap to Arcane if you can. Later, now it's Shadow, and so on and so forth. So this changes throughout the fight. So casters, keep a track of this debuff, see what you can and cannot cast, and just go nuts with the spell school that's chosen. On that, kill him, get fat loot.